Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a Let's Play, or as the nation of Egypt, and so we are going to be playing with mixed gender rules on, because that's always helpful, especially late in the game, where you might be so big that you run out of people to actually govern and control your armies. So let's start. At the beginning, this pop-up will always appear for pretty much all nations in this area that were formed by the collapse of Alexander's empire. You can see that he did die around 18 years ago, I think it was, but so that's essentially how all of this happened. And so now you can see, as always, we have a lot of problems that we have to deal with. And so we do have a ton of imports initially in the game. And so you can see we do have no strategic imports looking at that. So we're definitely going to want to get on a lot of those. And so Egypt, it's a really good nation for trading. It'll have pretty much the best economy in the entire game, even with like armies of hundreds of thousands. So we'll just hit import some iron, and then we'll just go and import mostly strategic resources, because we do want to be getting our armies up to scratch. We'll just import some camels. We aren't going to go for elephants. Now we are going to want to go for something that does increase the output of our pops. But before we can do that, we want to know, well, which pops do we have? So we just quickly accept all these. You see we go into the government tab, or sorry, the nation overview. You see this nice handy little pie chart right here. As you can see, that most of our nation, indicated by this little pie chart, is slaves. You can see they are 37% of our people. And so that means that increasing slave output will increase our money by the most, because there are more slaves. So we'll just import some leather. And then for the last import, we might just want to go for things boosting some food, or maybe starting an experience so we can get that military troops, trained. And so now we have a commander, and this is always going to be popped up. You just want to go over and appoint some commanders. We do have some pretty good commanders at the start of the game. You see now we do a disloyal character. Is it the guy we just appointed? Maybe. Well, seems like some people were not that happy about that. Now we just have to appoint some more people. Now you can see we do have scorned families and disloyal characters. We might want to fix that. So for inventions, we do have, so you can see a lot of options here, and these invention costs are going to be ridiculously expensive. Consider we do start with a lot of money, but we don't really want to spend literally all of our money right in the beginning of the game at invention. So we're gonna skip that. So for omen, you can see we do have a couple of possible omens. We're gonna go with Alexander the Great here, because he is really good for morale of armies and for ruler popularity gain. So we'll just select him here for 5 years, and now that fix that. So now we have available decisions, and that's really only going to be if you brace social equality, and so we'll just accept that, and anytime you can cancel it for whatever reason if you do want to, but I would recommend always starting with it on in case you need it later in the game. So free idea slots, we do have 1 military and 2 oratory ideas. You can see that there are a lot of pretty good benefits from these. So you can choose any idea here. I could choose civic, oratory, or religious, or military here, but if you want this nice bonus, you'll have to choose 1 military and 2 oratory. So that's just what we're going to do. We're going to go for morale of armies, because that's always handy. And then for oratory, we're going to want to go with loyalty of generals, so if generals don't betray me, which is always good. And then we are going to go with monthly corruption. So that goes down a bit. And so now you can see we do have some disloyal characters, and then I bet you that they are the same families that are now scorned. The Andronikid family is scorned right now, so if we get into the families tab, characters, then you have show families, and now you can see this is them, both scorned families. You can see they're both at 2 out of 3, and so there are some potentially good people. You can see that they're pretty good at civic, this person right here, so we're going to go with government, offices, and then we will find the people who are civic. As you can see somewhere over here, it says right there, I'm kind of blind, and so we're going to want to, you can see that this character is disloyal, so that's annoying, and you can see that we cannot bring them to trial because we have a very low chance of success. And you see they are disloyal, and yep, this is the guy who is, starting all of this. So we're going to want to just head over, and you can see it's also Andronikid. So we're going to have to pick a new person, so we don't just, because these are the only 2 jobs, and we don't just want to switch them out, because that wouldn't really do anything except probably annoy them. So now we'll try and find another thing. You see these guys are pretty good at religious power, so you can see that these guys have This guy has a really high religious power, so we're not going to want to switch him out. But this guy, you can see that is not a family that's currently scorned, and is pretty bad at it. So we're going to head over, you can see that nice scorned thing right there, and then you can appoint that. See, now we do have another scorned family, which is the guy we just replaced. So this can kind of be a mess at the beginning. We're going to have to go through all of these and fix them. So I'm just going to skip through this, and I'll come back once I fix all this. And so now we have that scorned families fixed up, and you can see they are still disloyal, but we should unpause, and that should eventually go away. They're probably just kind of still a bit mad about the scorned thing. So we do start off with an amount of 12 cohorts and 60 ships, a lot of ships. You can see we're probably paying quite a bit for that fleet maintenance, and you see we do have a trade routes, and we'll just accept that. And so some more of these, and you can see another pop up. You can see the empire belongs to the strongest, and this is gonna apply to these five nations, and they are all essentially the strongest nations that are most likely to be able to maybe reunite the empire. So this empire belongs to the strongest, and we now have claims to the Alexander's former empire, and these trades would stop popping up, although they are good. We can head over to the decisions, and you can see that reunite Alexander's empire is a available thing. And so you see we're going to have to get all the way to the Seleucid Empire, and then we're going to have to go all the way to Phrygia, and as well as Macedon and Thrace, as well as some of these peninsulas down here. So that is going to take a while, but we might want to start maybe pushing into Phrygia right here and taking out the nations around here, because we really have no use for anything down here. And from experience, I've gone down here and conquered all of this, and then when you're declaring war over here and there's one barbarian army, you're going to have to send your armies all the way back over here. So that's not what we're going to want to do. We're just going to want to maybe start trying to capture this little bit of land right there. So that's going to be our goal here. And so with Phrygia, they do have a lot of subject states, which is annoying. But our economy is better than them by quite a bit, so we are going to be able to pass them in terms of cohorts. And so we are going to want to just get a fabric claims. You can see we already have claims in all of these because of that Alexander's empire thing, so that is pretty good for us. So we're going to unpause and start building up our army. So you can see we have no archers here, so we're just going to get a few of those, and you can see troubling news. And then we're going to want to go with more light troops, because they are going to be less affected by a lot of attrition that you'll get by fighting in the desert down over here. So we're going to want to go with a couple of these and more of these as well, because we are going to have to fight against pretty much all of these, as well as you can see Phrygia is now at war with Macedon, and it potentially could declare war on us. I played as you saw, if you watched on my Athens beginning of the playthrough, you can see that we were at war with Egypt because of Phrygia, so maybe they will declare war on us, or maybe we will just declare war on them. Most likely we'll declare war on them. We'll just move our army right over here, and you can see we'll just accept another trade route. And so we are going to want to just keep increasing the size of this army, potentially making another army. As you can see, we are still going up. So if you ever want to make another army, you don't want to necessarily just split, but what you don't want to do is a common mistake, is just go to recruit cohorts and then spam all of these. As you can see, we can't build these because we do not lack the following trade goods in this little tile right here. So how you do these, you say we do a bunch of archers, they'll all be in this tile right here. It can take forever, especially if you do heavy cavalry or war elephants. So we'll just recruit one archer, and we'll just let him recruit. It'll only take 45 days. That is shortest. And you see Egypt declares war on Phrygia with a war conquer Damascus. And so that's nice. You see that either we get, let's see what comes to us, and we get some territory, it looks like. And then, but we are going to want to declare war on Phrygia because they are pretty at war already. You can see that they are worth a ton of different nations right here. So we're just going to want to do that. And so we'll just let this archer recruit, and then you can see we do have a lot of commanders, so we'll just fix that. And then we do have to recruit our army, and then now you can see we can recruit anything because it is now letting us recruit from anywhere over here. So once again, recruit some archers, a lot of light infantry, and then some light cavalry, and then maybe one or two of these. And maybe we'll go with a couple camel cavalries. Although I can't imagine how effective camels would be because they are pretty slow, but maybe they'll just spit everywhere. So we'll just let that recruit up. You can see there's a lot of troops now. And so we'll let our first army go in once we can fix this. See, this was not a very good thing right here. You see that we do either lose some money and gain some corruption, or this guy loses a lot of loyalty, but we really don't want that because this guy is the head of the Draco Kid family. So we'll just go with that there. You see it does say we are at war because of that war that we are in, and it does, for whatever reason, say that we are losing. I don't know why, but you can see there's a freaking army that decided to march right in the path of this army of about only around 19,000 compared to their 4,000. So they're going to run away. We're going to get a bunch more trade. That's the great thing about Egypt, is you're going to almost always have a really strong economy. I don't know what you'd have to do to have a bad economy as Egypt, but you're going to have a pretty good economy. And so now, Phrygia and Seleucids are at war now, it looks like. Maybe not, but we'll see if that happens, which would be good, because Seleucids are relatively powerful. You can see they do own quite a bit of land and do have quite a bit of cohorts, and so they might help us out. Or they just decided to take a bunch of Phrygia. So that's kind of annoying. We'll just have to get the land in here. You can see now Phrygia is separated, and they'll have to use our not too small a navy. And so for that, what we might want to do is get this navy to go out over here. And you can see that now with a couple updates in the last couple of months, letting you now go through rivers. Before you couldn't do that, which is pretty annoying, but now you can. And you can see this army has decided that they are a lazy army, very lazy army. So they're just going to be sent over to do this siege. And you might encounter these kind of armies in your, I don't know, playing of the game. We'll actually just send this guy right up to here and then have this navy pick them up and send them farther in. But lazy armies are essentially what they are, is you put them in an independent operation and they go all the way over here and do absolutely nothing. And so those armies are really annoying. And you can identify them when they just head off in the opposite direction. And if you want to fix them at any point, what you can do is put them like maybe deep into enemy territory, and then they'll hopefully start. And you can see now I have a new stratus, but that's just because they are in a boat, so they can't form. Because that just is another cohort that was supposed to be recruited. You can see there are some troops over here, it looks like, and you see that we either lose some money or we already lost some money, and we can either get some more popularity or lose some popularity and become friends. So this guy is a member of the Android family, so they might help us out with them because they are not very happy right now. So we'll just send all of these troops over there, and we'll just combine that army because that's always useful. And so now we have two navies right here, so we're just going to go over here and we are going to actually combine them. And that's going to make essentially what we'll call a super navy, which is way bigger than Phrygia's navy. You see they only have 46 ships, and so we can use this to put them on independent operation, and they ideally will just hunt down any Phrygian ships in this area that are trying to drop off troops. Right now they're just going to sit in port because there's no one to hunt down, but hopefully that'll do that. So we do get a bunch of claims on the territory over here. We don't really need that territory, so we can go for a couple things here. So right here what we're going to go for is we're going to want to get them as a tributary because that's pretty useful. They're a relatively large country and they could help us out in future wars, so we'll go for that, and if they don't, then nothing really happens. So we'll do that, and you can see they're not our tributary, which is unfortunate. See, they're not over there in tributary states, but we didn't lose any money either. And you can see that this army is kind of complicating its choices. Either it goes in or it doesn't go in, so now we do have claims on them. So once the siege finishes, which will be relatively shortly, you see it is at 42%, which is the maximum. And you can see over here, there's 50% chance of surrender, which is nice, but it's going to decide to take a long time. That can happen. Now you can see we didn't get that, capture that city, and now these guys are looking like they're going to want to head into our army. And you can see we cannot head to there, but we can head to right here because that is in our territory. So we're going to want to head over here and try and get this army, because if we don't, then they could just take all of this land when we're all the way up here. So we'll just fix one of these. We'll choose this one, and then you can see we are going to be able to, looks like, maybe engage that army, but they are just going to kind of run away because that's what they want to do. So they've decided, questionable decision making, to lay siege to this. And you can see that they barely managed to dodge us, which is annoying. And you can see we are going to get them right here right before they got into their friendly territory. You see now we have little games popping up, and you can see we did win that battle. Although it was kind of costly, we can now put this army back in independent operations and see what's going on up here. So this guy, they did take that siege, and you can see that Phrygia's navy and its entire force is right there. So they are bigger than our navy currently. Maybe they recruited some ships, 55 of them, and that's probably just combined with another navy of the city over here. So we're doing pretty well in this war, although it does say we are losing because of they are occupying some states, which it says. I don't know which ones. Maybe some obscure parts over here. No. Aha, here they are. This is where they are occupying, with a massive army of a whole total of 1,000 troops. And so we're just gonna either grab these mercenaries here, but that will cost us quite a bit of money, 100 gold, and we'll just, I guess, form up a little defensive army right here. So we'll just 1 archer and 3 light infantry, and that should easily deal with them. You can see we are going to catch another army that did come up over here, and so we'll be able to completely destroy that army. And now you can see that this army has decided to flee farther, a bit deeper into the countryside, so we'll just chase him down. And these guys are doing pretty well up here, almost taking the entire area with really no opposition except maybe this little army over here. So these guys are going to be pretty annoying. This is just a bunch of cities that they keep sieging. And up there, and you can see now that we're going to be able to catch them right there, unless they turn around and head over here. And so we'll hopefully catch them there. So yeah, you can see that green thing, meaning that we are most likely to win that battle, which we kind of are, because we do have 4 times the amount of men as them, and we do manage to completely take them out. And what we're going to do is put these guys on defend borders, and that should just have them unlay siege all of this, but not move in over there, because this army is pretty small. So armies are doing pretty well up here. You can see a war score is going up now that we took down those 2 armies, and we'll just have to unlay siege all of that. So we are having a ton of pop-ups here. We'll go for this one so we don't lose all of that. Stability and loyalty, and then we'll just, you can see this army is, what is it doing? No, it's just going over here. I thought it might be going all the way back there, because sometimes that can happen, like an army all the way over here can be like, oh no, a couple of little cities that are being dealt with by this army, I'll go over and help. There's absolutely no need for them to do that. So these armies are doing pretty well in independent operations. As you can see, they're not the most efficient. They're kind of switching places, it looks like. But they're doing pretty well. After quite a bit of chasing, it looks like we're finally going to be able to manage to capture this army right here. Finally went a bit too far, and looks like they have really nowhere to go. So we managed to catch them, and so that's a pretty good battle for us. You can see our war score is going up by a lot. And this army, I think, has just about finished. All that's doing over here, as you can see now, there are some bigger armies, and it's going to make a questionable decision. But we're going to want to send it after this army, considering that it is split up a bit, and we'll just kind of have it tail that army right there, on laying siege, all the things that this army did lay siege to. We'll just put these back in independent operation because I took them off to catch that army, and we can't recruit troops for this army because they'll just head over here and then be smashed by these 2 armies, which is not good. So we might be able to recruit some troops right here. You can see we can get a couple light infantry, which is good. And we'll just, you can see a Spartan army is coming over here to try and take that land, and then we'll just chase them off and then pick up. Really managed to take them out. See, we did manage over here to take out completely an army, and when you see that imprisonment and all the troops gone, it permanently erases the army so they can't be regenerated by manpower, which is good. And so we'll just let our army kind of grow in size over here, and ideally our looks like our ships coming up. Ships are coming over there. It looks like they potentially might lose, which is not what we want, because so we'll see what happens. So we'll let the armies recruit, and we'll send these guys off to catch these people. And so it looks like we are going to lose that, like the thing said, but hopefully that'll kind of discourage these guys from coming over here, although we did lose, and lose like quite a few ships. Yeah, they just have better ships than we did, it looks like. So these guys are being quite annoying. And now you can see our ships are going to go back into harbor, right, ships? And it's not do whatever you're doing. Stay in harbor, and you've lost your privileges. Okay. Hopefully we can manage to catch this army, and then we'll have to unslay siege all the things that we just fixed. It's annoying, and we're gonna lose. Okay. What we're just gonna do is build up another army right over here. And this is getting pretty annoying with all these. We're just going to spread it out because we can't recruit to the army because they are retreating. And so we're just going to spread out a bunch of light infantry. And then this army is retreating to over there. And so we can hopefully manage to go back and take these armies out. And so we did manage to get out that army, but that is over there. So the really only part that's going really well, this war is up here. You can see we've just about managed to take all of that land. You can see there is, but we aren't at war with them. So that's good, although that is a relatively large army. So we either have a granary, and we'll just go with demanded payment. And so now we have all those troops. We'll just order them all to get to right there, and then you can see we did get defeated by that army because they were just one of those another straggler army. And we'll combine them. You can see that this army is pretty much all of the manpower that we're spending. And so we'll just try and catch these armies. And you can see another army of Athens is coming over to be annoying, and we'll recruit some more troops. Actually, we have to, we can recruit some troops to this army. More light infantry, more archers, and maybe some cavalry. It's now getting to be a pretty big army, other than. So they're all kind of combining over here, and so we'll send them down. They're really the only war score that Phrygia is getting is from over here. You can see that we are apparently going to lose that battle, and these guys are all not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I'll just tell them to stay there, and all of these troops should join that army like the other ones supposed to do. You can see now they have an army of 10,000 over there, and we'll just get to this army to kind of combine up. 15,000. As you can see, we will lose because this army is low in morale, so we're going to have to retreat over that way. See some ships over here, revolt, so we'll deal with that. We do have to fix this, and we'll just support some more leather to get a better economy, so we can maybe pay for this army, although we are still pretty good. So you can see we are not needing that many more men to join this army. We just need them to get back up in morale, so they should be able to get up in morale before that army catches them. See, that looks like they will, and now that army is running away, which is what we want. See, the armies over there are still doing pretty well, and so they have captured a lot of land over here. So if we do defeat them, we'll split up this army into 7,000 if it splits it up the right way, because sometimes it doesn't. And so we'll just have to chase after this army here. So they are stopping kind of unwisely till they siege that little tile. So I really didn't give anything to them, because now they're just gonna have to stop and keep running away. And now we're able to catch them. It looks like just about. They're kind of trying to make up their minds. And some of them are gonna go, some of them aren't. And so we're gonna have to change to here, and you see what we're gonna want to do is wait for them to lock on. So if we just head this way, you can see that they're gonna start going, and then ideally before they lock on, we lock on, and you see we're gonna catch some of them because they locked. What locking is you can see a little lock here, which means that no matter what I decide to do, even if we want to retreat, those troops were going to go there no matter what. And so governor, we did lose a governor over here. You see that was a pretty good governor though. And so this army is not being a lazy army, but we're just going to tell them to get up here and take out whatever that army is doing. Yeah, that army's, I don't know what it's doing. So we're going to be able to catch them and then take them out. And these guys are going to unwisely join them in being completely destroyed. And hopefully we completely take out that army. It looks like we almost did. And so now they're retreating, and we're just going to capture this land and then follow them back up. And then ideally, completely take them out. So we're going to put our troops on to defend borders, so they head up there. You see we are victorious, and something over here. And so this army is probably going to be tired. See, it's facing a Phrygian army over here, and they're doing pretty well. There they are losing some troops. You can see some naval reinforcements. Looks like they're coming because our navy was kind of completely destroyed. And so we'll put these guys on defend borders, so they fix up all of this as well as that army, so we can kind of get this war. Because the only thing that we're losing is this, and we're completely destroying them over here. So these guys are just heading over to catch that army, and so we'll let them do that. So annoyingly, just as we were finishing up the little guys that we need to unsiege over here, Phrygian revolt has happened. We are not at war with them. As you can see, they are just at war with Phrygia, but their land is essentially right where we were about to take the land. And you see, actually, we are Egyptian. So we are at war with the Phrygian revolt. I'm just blind. We are at war. So that's good, because now we can capture this land once again. And if we hadn't, then we would have had to kind of give up that land over there. So we're going to want to get all of our troops to come over here, because, except for that other army, we'll just let them stay in that. Oh no, that's not good. Phrygia has imported a really big army. So we're going to tell these guys, see, how big has Phrygia's army gotten? They are now 13 cohorts. That's interesting, because there's a Phrygian revolt. They're working together. Oh, never mind. I know what happened. What happened here is this ship was transporting 25,000 troops over to here, and then Phrygian revolt happened. So that seems like what happened over there. Otherwise, they've just decided to work together, which is not what they should do, because they are kind of enemies, because that is a revolt. So we'll just tell these guys to get back over here in case it is. And you can see, yep, they immediately go into conflict, which is what I thought would happen. And we'll just tell these guys, this army, to get over here. And so this army will have combined once again over here. And then we can take out whoever won that battle right there. It looks like it's the Phrygian revolt, and then we'll combine these two armies, and then looks like they decided to be really annoying and uncolonize this area for the amount of times they laid siege to it. So we'll just have to chase after this Phrygian revolt here. So looks like they're just going to be purely annoying. You see now these guys are probably going to come back around and chase us. So we might want to get another army over here. See, we are going up quite a bit, so we're just going to make one more army over here. Now these armies are almost outnumbering the actual armies that we have in war over there. But these guys should hopefully help. So we'll send them up there so they can ideally take out those troops, and we'll recruit to this army right here. You see, there were Phrygian revolt. I was just recruiting the troops over here. Ended. That's why this army completely disappeared over here. I was kind of chasing a ghost army then. So it looks like Phrygia did really well in whatever they were doing with that revolt, and managed to completely take it out after just only a couple seconds. So this army is not in operations, because I was doing something with it, and so now we did lose a lot of land. See that Phrygia? White peace. I never accepted that. Appears that Phrygia has decided they want white peace, and we were forced to accept it, which is annoying. So we're going to cap it here for this episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.